All right, what do we got here? Are we getting more desperate out here now, Trump? You're asking for a complete redraw of the Texas congressional map. No, just a very simple redraw. We pick up 5 seats. 5 seats. Okay, let's hold on. Quick question. Why don't we take a look at the Texas congressional map? Sure. Why don't we find like an image of it? What does it look like? The congressional map. Here we go. I guess we have to just look at this fucking thumbnail. There's a lot of like weird sussy shit going on, especially in a lot of the more population centers where there's going to be a lot more Democratic voters. The way you can tell that certain districts are fucking gerrymandered in particular is if you see like random spikes going on in order to like sort of like carve out particular populaces within those districts to be able to sort of like make it such that you can have more fucking Republican seats in comparison to Democratic seats in order to have control of like state legislators in order to be able to push your legislative agenda. That's the point of all this stuff. So Trump is asking for a simple redraw, but Texas is already like one of the most gerrymandered of gerrymandered states currently in the United States of America. I don't like how exactly are they going to try to get 5 more seats exactly? Like that's going to be a potential challenge. Just like how gerrymandering can work very often in advantage to the opposition or the current party or whatever, it can also work in an advantage to the opposition as well if the gerrymander is done in a particular way where actually they lose a bunch of fucking voters instead. And considering the fact that a lot of the stuff that Donald Trump is doing is quite unpopular, that is a potential thing that could happen, is him losing a bunch of fucking seats as a result of this. Because you can only gerrymander so far. And again, like, the only reason why Trump is doing this is because he's afraid that he's going to get BTFO'd in the fucking midterms. Like, that's the entire reasoning for doing any of this stuff.
This would be the biggest one, and
So
that'll be fun.
are you calling then for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year?
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
And
But we have a couple of other states.
Like, how is he going to do that? 5 fucking seats? We're going to do it in a couple of other states too. Also, like, the fact that it's the federal government that's calling for this is also fucking insane. Like, this is a state matter. There should not be any, like, sort of federal sort of influence that is leading to the sort of like gerrymandering to a fucking goddamn particular state. Like, again, the only reason why they are fucking doing this is because he recognizes that, we may have some troubles during the midterms, so we need to cheat in order to be able to win.
Well, we'll pick up seats also.
Well, that's Donald Trump sort of like listing his fucking intention. But it seems that the Texas Democrats are not taking this laying down. Whoa, they're actually showing a fucking backbone, the Democrats, for once in their lives, and are proposing like other states, Democratic states, to gerrymander the shit out of the Republicans. An actual expression of power from the Democrats? What the? But what do we got here from Beto O'Rourke? Or, Beto O'Dork.
Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So the Texas legislature, run by Republicans, their special session begins tomorrow. Democrats say they're going to use whatever means necessary they can to block this redistricting effort, but Democrats are the minority, as you know. Realistically, what are the Democratic options to block this? First, just in case folks don't know what redistricting is, that's the process by which members of Congress choose their own voters. Typically, that happens after the passage of the decade, the new census. It is very rare to happen in the middle of the decade. Why are they doing this? Donald Trump's policies, whether it's the big beautiful bill that's going to take nearly 2 million Texans off of Medicaid or transfer nearly $1 trillion of wealth to the richest 1% at the expense of working families, his policies are deeply unpopular. He doesn't want to face accountability from the voters, and he's worried about keeping his very slim majority in Congress. So he's trying to pick up 5 seats through this redistricting process in Texas. Now, to your question about how we fight back, there are a number of things that we can do. One, the Democratic state legislators can deny their Republican colleagues a quorum to be able to move forward on this. We've seen this before with legislators leaving the state and that sort of thing. Absolutely, and I think they at least have to try this, and all of us, wherever you live, have to get behind them, because if we fail to support them right now, it's not just going to hurt the people of Texas, it's going to hurt people all over this country. But there's more.
Very, very good points here being laid out by Beto O'Rourke. This is an opportunity. Hey, Democrats, you have a potential chance to, I don't know, express some fucking power and do something while you're in power for once in your fucking miserable lives. Looking at you, fucking Chuck Schumer, you fucking dumbass. This is a potential way for them to actually be able to do something and it would look really, really good to the fucking American people. And if they tried to stop this redistricting process and even try to replicate their own redistricting processes, saying like, okay, if you want to play fire with fire, we could do that. Sure, you want to cheat? We'll fucking cheat as well. Finally, a fucking instance where there is no more of this like stupid bullshit like Michelle Obama attitude of if they go low, we go high. Finally, they're actually going to kick the Republicans in the balls for wanting to constantly fucking cheat. By, it's like, you want to cheat? Fine, we'll cheat as well.
More that we can do. Governor Gavin Newsom in California has talked about redistricting in his state. I think it's time that we match fire with fire. I think Democrats in the past too often
Thank
have been
God.
concerned with being right than being in power. And we've seen Republicans only care about being in power regardless of what is right. So you support the Newsom effort because California right now has an independent commission that does districts in as fair a way as possible, in nonpartisan way as possible. And you're saying Democrats...
That's the fucking most pathetic fucking bullshit. You can't be partisan about this. We need to be very fair to the Republicans who constantly will cheat and abuse their power at any fucking instance possible. We need to be very, very fair to these fucking stupid scumbag fucking cheaters. Yeah, man. Totally.
Should, even though you don't approve of it, Democrats should do it too. We have to get serious. We have to be absolutely ruthless about getting back in power. So yes, in California, in Illinois, in New York, wherever we have the trifecta of power, we have to use that to its absolute extent. And the last thing, this may end up biting Republicans in the ass. You have the possibility that they will disperse Republican voters to make up these 3 or 4 or 5 new congressional districts and put those districts in play. So in Texas, we've got to get out there and register and meet the voters who are going to decide the outcome.
It's the exact same point that I also raised right here, that Beto O'Rourke is also raising. Again, the amount that Texas is fucking gerrymandered already, you could only go so far in a fucking gerrymander. Where, such that if you try to gerrymander even more, it's just like, well, it ends up actually that you losing a bunch of Republican fucking voters. And you end up making some potential purple districts. Because in reality... And this was showed in like 2020. Texas is a pretty purple fucking state. Lot of fucking city centers within Texas. Your San Antonios, your Houstons, your Austins of the world. A lot of big cities within Texas nowadays. A lot of fucking Democrats, as a result, living in those fucking cities. If we're talking about the sheer numbers, that state is probably looking pretty purple. And the Republicans recognize that, so they have to gerrymander the hell out of the state in order to be able to maintain power within the state. But again, you can only do it so far. At this point, it's a rather fucking delicate process. And are they going to be able to do that successfully? That remains to be seen.
In these next elections, if they're successful with this redistricting. Our group, Powered by People, is doing this right now on the ground. We can't wait for 2026. We got to do the work right now in 2025. So House Democrats are exploring doing this in other blue states: New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, Washington. It's already done quite a bit in Illinois, and there's some examples of it of Democrats taking advantage of it.
Yep, JB Pritzker is trying to go in on this as well, right? Like it's pretty good to fucking see, right? Like what? JB Pritzker redistricting. He's also trying to go ahead with that, right? 2 Democratic governors say that if Texas redraws congressional maps, they may too. Gavin Newsom and JB Pritzker are also trying to do that to try to counter a lot of the bullshit that's going on with the Texas fucking goddamn Republicans. Because, again, they're just trying to cheat for the fact that Donald Trump is incredibly unpopular, and he's trying to do everything possible to maintain his slim majority. So if he has to cheat in order to do that, he'll fucking do it. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that stuff, okay? That's why it's just like, okay, if you want to cheat, we'll fucking cheat as well. Fuck you. Like, okay, how about we gerrymander the shit out of the fucking Republicans? No more of this, like, stupid goddamn, like, bipartisan, namby-pamby little fucking bullshit. Okay, fine. How about you get fucking gerrymandered out instead? We'll just be partisan about this instead. No more fucking goddamn nonpartisan boards to try to make this all fair. If you're not willing to play fair, fuck off. I've been saying this for fucking years. I guess it's refreshing to see that at least finally they may actually try to follow up on that. Thank God.
In Nevada. But you were in North Carolina this week and you told voters there that they need to end the process of gerrymandering. It sounds like you're saying that they should end the process in a Republican state or Republican leaning state, but do it in a Democratic state. I mean, should there be like a consistent point of view here? It's confusing, isn't it? You heard Democrats in 20.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? How's that hypocritical? What? It's a practice that should just be ended because it's just legalized cheating. Like, quite literally. That's the point of gerrymandering. Fucking stupid from Jake Tapper.
24 often talk about saving democracy. people in America didn't understand what they were talking about because we really don't live in a democracy right now. When one person can spend nearly $300 million to elect their preferred candidate for president, that is not a democracy. When members of Congress can choose their own voters,
That's true.
that is not a democracy. When Texas makes it nearly impossible for millions to cast a ballot, that is not a democracy. So the first order of business is winning political power. And then yes, Jake, we've got to get big money out of politics. We've got to get politicians out of the process of redistricting. We have to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. And we've got to make sure that we overturn decisions like Citizens United that equate corporations with people and money with speech. That will produce a real democracy. But until we are there, we have to use every lever of power that we have right now to our advantage to make sure that we're in office. Because no one wants members of Congress choosing their own voters, but we have no ability to change that until we start winning.
Well, you say it sounds confusing, but others might say it's hypocritical.
I like no notes. This is just good. This is just good here by Beto. Like he's just right. He's just correct. Oh, it's time for like the dipshit centrist to fucking say something stupid.
Critical that you're saying this is a horrible thing, and it's members of Congress choosing their voters instead of the other way around, and now Democrats need to embrace it.
You know, I think that Democrats...
That's not fucking hypocritical, right? These are the rules that are currently in place, and the other side is trying to use it, and you want to fucking browbeat the other fucking side for saying like, okay, so if they want to fucking cheat, fine, we'll fucking cheat as well. Politics is about power. It's not about playing nice. Fuck out of here with this bullshit.
have been so scared of being branded as hypocrites or coloring outside the lines that it has absolutely paralyzed them in the struggle for power in America. You don't see the other side worrying about any of that at all. Donald Trump defying the Constitution, the rule of...
Based. Holy shit. I've been saying this fucking constantly. Holy shit. He's fucking spitting right now. So fucking based that Beto is actually saying this. Holy fuck.
Law, the courts, trying to dismantle our very democracy in front of our eyes right now, where we say we have got to fight back. We cannot roll over. We cannot play dead. We cannot submit to them, as Democrats for far too long have done. We've got to fight back with everything that we've got.
Dude, again, like I've said before, the consequences of Michelle Obama saying, like, if they go low, we go high, is the reason why, again, the position of submission has been subsumed by the fucking Democrats for, like, the past generation at this point. And finally, they're actually going to be like, okay, maybe we should actually just fight back, because... holy shit, if we don't fucking fight back, everything is going to be lost. The state, democracy, it's all just going to fucking descend into a complete fascistic goddamn shithole. I can't fucking express just how refreshing it is to just hear this.
By every single means necessary. If we don't do that, Jake, we are going to lose this country, and the people that we serve, that we represent, that we want to fight for, they're going to be hurt even more than they are right now.
Very quickly, if you would, there's obviously a Senate race coming up in Texas. John Cornyn, the incumbent Republican senator, facing a challenge inside his own party from Paxton, the controversial Attorney General.
I don't care about that stupid dumbass race. Ken Paxton, I don't know, divorced his wife because he's a piece of shit or something. Whatever, who cares? What's our big boy? What's our big boy Gavin Newsom saying? Oh yeah, 1000%, Alex. But he, like, again... the fact that he's finally saying, like, I mean, he's not, like, really left-wing that much. I mean, he's like, probably, like, a tiny bit left of center or whatever. He's not, like, the worst of Democrats out there. He's, like, okay. Not the worst. But the fact that he's starting, like, constantly expressing, like, dude, we have to do something. We can't just assume the position of submission. We can't do this. And the fact that this is working on, like, that this is being convincing to people like, again, JB Pritzker, who he himself is also... quite the fucking fighter. And now with fucking Gavin fucking Newsom, it's just, oh my god, finally an expression of power, because this is what politics actually is supposed to be. Expressions of fucking power. This is the point. Finally.
Good afternoon. My name is Rafael Anchia, A-N-C-H-I-A. I'm a state representative from Dallas, and the... Now you know why we don't do things out here. And the immediate past chair of the Mexican American Legislative Caucus in the Texas Legislature. I'm joined here by my colleagues representing the major caucuses.
So now we have, like, Texan Democrats working alongside with California Democrats, which, again, is good to see that this is because this should be just a huge collaborative effort to try to do anything possible to fucking push back against this fascistic goddamn power grab. Everything has to be thrown, including the fucking kitchen sink, in order to stop this stuff. Because again, if you just lay over and die, like what fucking Michelle Obama has been constantly saying for the past, I don't know, like 20 fucking years, you're just gonna get fucking bowled over by the Republicans.
Of the state legislature rather, both current and immediate past chairs. We wanted to bring leaders from Texas together to share ideas and experiences with Governor Newsom, who's so gracious to host us, along with members of Congress today, to discuss two major points. And the first thing I want to point out is we shared ideas and experiences on how the big ugly bill is impacting both of our states. This is a major point of commonality, because while Texas Democrats and California Democrats may be a little bit different, we're all Americans, and we represent constituents that are being hurt by Trump's big ugly bill. The next thing we wanted to do is share ideas and experiences with the governor about Texas redistricting and brief him on the state of play and what's occurring in Texas. And it should be no surprise to anybody who covers Texas that every decade since 1970, Texas has been found to discriminate against people of color in its redistricting process. We wanted to share
True.
with the history of that redistricting and bring him up to speed on Trump's effort to rig elections in the state of Texas and change the outcome on the backs of black and brown Texans who have accounted for 96% of all the growth in the state of Texas. Communities of color, I will repeat again, have accounted for 96% of all the growth in the state of Texas, yet the Trump redistricting plan...
Yeah, that's a really good point that's being raised here. Again, another part of the reason for as to why they gerrymander in the particular ways that they do is to disenfranchise voting from minority voters who they know are not going to fucking vote for Republicans anytime soon because they're fucking racist pieces of shit.
Seeks to dismantle historic and important districts represented by African Americans and Latinos, where African and American and Latino communities have been able to elect the candidates of their choice historically. In trying to do this, it is going to cause great harm, not only to the people that we represent, to the voters of the state of Texas, but also potentially to all Americans. Voy a ofrecer unos comentarios en español para los medios que están aquí haciendo cobertura y vamos a estar
Español.
Los líderes de Texas para también darles comentarios individuales. Pero quiero enfatizar, candidatos que sin representación jamás...
In many respects, this is an appropriate place to be with all the noise out there. Reminds me of all the noise in our politics, all the distractions, the daily discourse, the weave from one issue to the next issue, Truth Social, post on X, the intentional nature of the shock and awe that is our body politic today. And so often we lose sight of what's essential. So often we lose sight with all those distractions on what matters most. And it's what matters most that brings us here today. It's an honor to have the delegation here from Texas. An honor.
As much as I do not like Gavin Newsom, he is correct here. Again, the distractions are purely necessary to make sure that, well, the Republicans can run out the fucking back door with the money in their hands. Like, that's the point of, like, doing all this fucking idiotic bullshit. Distractions constantly. Like, you know, why do you think that Donald Trump is trying to do everything possible to distract people from, you know, looking further into the Epstein file stuff? I wonder why. Yes, he's a piece of shit for sure. But, like, yeah, for once, actually, he's, like, doing something good.
To have leaders from the Texas delegation representing many of the different caucuses that we here in California are familiar with. Two of the most diverse states in the world, most diverse democracy. Texas and California have so much in common. Of course, our politics is a little different. And the question I imagine many folks are asking here in California, what do the politics of Texas have to do with the politics here in California? The answer is everything. Everything now is made clear and vivid. We have an administration that wants to roll back most of the progress of the last half century. They want to put America in reverse to bring us back to a 1960s, pre-1960s world. We talked about voting rights, LGBTQ rights. We talked about the rights of women in the meeting a moment ago. We talked about everything that's at stake. Everything is at stake if we're not successful next year in taking back the House of Representatives. Of course, we want a fair playing field. We want to play the game on the terms where everybody is playing by the same set of rules. That's no longer the case. We have to disenthrall ourselves that that's the case. Not with Donald Trump, not when he made a call.
Thank God that one of the biggest, most powerful fucking governors in the entire fucking nation and the entire fucking planet is finally fucking saying stuff like this. Because, again, this is the attitude that's been catalyzed by that fucking stupid bullshit from Michelle Obama saying, like, if they go low, we go high. Fuck that. Don't fucking do any of that bullshit because, again, the Republicans have never been fucking interested in playing fair. Playing fair is anathema to the Republican Party. They couldn't give less of a shit about playing fair. It has always been about expressions of power for these people. That's what it's always been about. And they understand this. But for some reason, I don't know, probably due to whatever corporate interests that the Obamas were fucking representing, they decided to be like, we're just gonna play over, roll over, and fucking die. And it's just like, okay, that's cool, that's great. Thanks, Obama, for being a complete fucking moron about this. Great, fantastic.
To the governor of Texas and talked about finding 5 additional seats so that he can try to hold the line and maintain the majority in the House of Representatives. The game has changed. They don't even want to play by the same set of rules. In fact, they just want to throw the entire board.
Wee woo.
And they want to throw it all out. It is a 5-alarm fire for democracy in the United States of America. And so that's why we're here, to have the back not only of those represented from Texas, but the people of Texas that are struggling and suffering from the same kind of assault on not just the rule of law, but this assault on democracy that binds us together as a nation. And so a threat, I think, the threat of injustice anywhere, as Dr. King says, the threat of justice everywhere. And so we feel a connection, we feel a sense of responsibility, and we feel it's right to assert ourselves a little bit more moral clarity at this moment, using not just our moral authority, but using our formal authority. And considering, as we now have, that there is a chance to ask the voters of the state of California to reconsider their prior position. I've asked myself that same question as someone that actively supported independent redistricting, that believes it should be nationalized, but we have not seen the nationalization of independent redistricting. Things have changed, so too must we. And I believe that the people of the state of California understand what's at stake. If we don't put a stake into the heart of this administration, there may not be an election in 2028. That's how strongly I feel about this moment, and I think millions, hundreds of millions of Americans feel the same.
We all know the intention of fucking Donald Trump. Yeah, he like, listen, if he could, he would have his fucking third term, right? We've already seen, like, the dipshits out there doing, like, the Trump 2028, talking about, like, potentially repealing the 22nd Amendment to have like Trump be able to run in a fucking third term, or try to like say like, well, it wasn't a 2 like term back-to-back thing, so did he actually serve 2 terms? It's like that's not how that works. That's not how time works. It's not how any of this stuff works. Like, what the hell are you talking about? It's so stupid. And yeah, I think it is pretty safe to say to potentially be concerned about democracy. Now, of course, I've talked about before how the Democrats are not exactly the best at being able to make this fucking argument, considering the fact that they didn't have a primary process at all for, well, Joe Biden when he was basically selected by the DNC to be the president of the United States. So it's just like, you know, like it's an argument that overall rings pretty hollow. But I mean, in this particular instance, like with what Trump is attempting to do by trying to get those 5 extra seats in Texas, it should be laid pretty threadbare. If you don't put up a fight, if you don't fucking do anything about this, and it's just like they're just going to keep doing it. It doesn't matter. Like, the game has changed. Republicans have been openly cheating for God knows how long. So at this point, it's just like, fuck it. Like, you want to play with fire? Okay, we'll do the same thing. Fuck you at this point.
We take Donald Trump seriously when he talks about the 2028 election. I mentioned to my friends a moment ago that I got a hat, a Trump 2028 hat from Donald Trump's biggest supporters, one of his biggest and most influential supporters. They're not screwing around. We cannot afford to screw around either. We have got to fight fire with fire. And I'll close on that point. What more evidence do you need in the state of California in the last just 6 months? Warrantless raids all across this state. Conditioning, threatening to condition disaster aid on the basis of politics, not on the basis of principles and the needs of people. We've seen these illegal tariffs take shape and impact the state disproportionately more than any other state. All of this is on the line. And so that's why we're here drawing not just new lines, but standing firm and trying to hold the line on democracy, our freedoms, our liberties, things that we can no longer take for granted. So I want to just thank all of you. They all flew out this morning. They recognized the stakes, and I'm very honored to have had this opportunity to dialogue, to compare notes, and to let the folks know in Texas, but also here in California, this is not an idle threat to our democracy. This is real, and we not only have the back Texans, but we may be back to the ballot here in California trying to right this wrong. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, the only thing is that the timing of this might be a little tight. I mean, same thing with what Trump is doing. But again, like, the Republicans don't give a fuck about the timing. If they can get it done, they just get it done. Just, like, get it done. Fucking do it, right? Like, I am in fucking of complete full support of this fucking effort. I think, like, at this point in time, politics is an expression of power. You must do everything possible once you have gained that power in order to be able to further solidify and cement that fucking power. Because again, the Republicans recognize this. They are always going to be in the minority because a lot of their fucking policies are actively unpopular and repellent to people. That's the fucking problem here. So they have to cheat in order to be able to win. There's that, again, Greg Palast documentary where he talked about where Kamala Harris probably lost about 2.6 million voters due to a lot of the goddamn gerrymandering, redistricting, and even like poll watchers. And closing of polling locations that the Republicans in like states like Pennsylvania, Georgia being one of the sort of like main sort of states where this is generally speaking tested, closing all these locations and trying to do everything possible in order to cheat to allow those fucking swing states to go in favor of Donald Trump. They know they can't win based off of the merit of their fucking arguments, so they have to fucking cheat constantly. And now, well, the Democrats are finally potentially recognizing this. It's just, I don't really know what else to say besides it's just like, it's a refreshing breath of fresh air. Like, it just feels great that, like, again, the Texas Democrats are visiting other fucking Democrats within Illinois and California. I anticipate they might even do the same thing in New York, perhaps even New Jersey. Just be like, if they just want to cheat, fuck them. Like, it's enough. No more of this bullshit. That's it. I think now even Kathy Hochul has said that she is now interested in fucking redistricting, right? What Kathy Hochul redistricting, right? It's starting to fucking spread. And perhaps Kathy Hochul, seeing as this could be very, very fucking popular, and because she may have a fucking potential tough election ahead of her as governor, she's finally going to do something about this. So yeah, she says that she's opening the door to fucking redrawing house lines. Finally, we're doing an actual fucking goddamn expression of power here. Because again, let's be fucking honest here. The Republicans will do anything possible in order to cheat, to lie, to fucking steal, in order to be able to get what they want, and that is power. So it is about time for Democrats to also do the exact same thing. Again, politics is an expression of power, first and foremost. There's no point in being fair with these people because none of these people are interested in being fair with you. It is about doing anything possible with what you have gained in order to push your agenda and push your ideals onto the people. Whoa, it turns out a lot of the stuff that fucking Republicans push for is incredibly fucking unpopular with most average Americans. Who would have thought? So at this point, fight fire with fire. Fuck these motherfuckers, and fuck Michelle Obama for suggesting that you have to play nice with these stupid, cheating little fucking unrepentant shitters known as the fucking Republican Party. This sort of like change in terms of attitudes is finally being catalyzed, and the Democrats are, for once in their lives, actually trying to show some potential backbone and show some fight. It's just a refreshing breath of air. I think that's really all I have to say about that.